Hey guys, this is my video response for the Amy's Baking Company video from Kitchen Nightmares for Oxy class. So before I start going in on the whole thing of the way they dealt with social media, I guess I'll do like a quick overview, not overview, but a quick response to the actual episode itself and just what I thought about it quickly. And yeah, if you've seen it, it's insane. Like watching the episode is it's you can't believe these people are real. You know what I mean? Like you watch these reality shows and you're like, oh, there must be some element of like producer input, but then like it's so over the top that. And going on later when we're talking about social media, like you realize these people are just crazy. Like they don't know how to deal with anything. They're just so entitled, and they have like this, like again, like in the episode, like they say, like the girl thinks everything she makes is amazing. Like every food she makes, nothing wrong with food. I thought it was like a really interesting episode to watch because most episodes are really boring. You know, it's like there's some yelling. You catch your nightmares occasionally, and you get that. But this one was like constant yelling, and you know, I've seen episodes where like near the end, like you think he's gonna give up, like Gordon Ramsay's gonna give up and leave, but he never does. It's like, oh yeah, it's like a reality. Like you want to see that success happening. You want to see these people do well, and then it just ended. Like the episode just ended, and he's left, and it was like amazing. Like that someone could push a guy that far and just be like, I can't help you. So yeah, I should probably get more into social media now. So yeah, like we were talking about in class and all that. We've talked about it today because today's Tuesday. We talked about how the terrible way in which they dealt with themselves on social media, and really like not even social media, just like I feel like in general, just like media wise, like television, like television interviews, all that. They just did terribly in how they dealt with it as a company and even as people, because like that's the thing about social media is that like it allows for in general allows for businesses to really get a wider marketing scheme, and they can be aware by more people because of how open social media is and how many different sources of social media there are, like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Reddit, and stuff like that. But these people just like, this is another point is how they did it terribly. Is that like if this episode came out and like it's like they're terrible people and their food's terrible, like they probably would have gotten business regardless. Like they're on TV, they would have got a spike in business. It would have been good. But it's the fact that they were so adamant about fighting everybody on everything. Like again, the best example is go to their Tumblr. You go to their Tumblr, it's like it starts off the very beginning. It's like, oh, we did this to raise awareness and get people on our side. It's like, oh, it's a good idea. Use social media, instead of, again, like people are using social media against you, use social media for them. Amy's Big Company, it seemed like they were like, oh yeah, like we're going to actually solve some of these issues. Instead, it's just Amy, the chef and the part owner, just yelling at people. Like people are like, your food is okay, and she's like, oh, you suck. And like it's like she like swears, and so there's obscenities everywhere. And like again, like it's Tumblr, so this stuff gets all over. There's like hundreds of notes on this stuff because the responses are ridiculous. And then you look at Reddit, it's no better. You know what I mean? Like she's like bashing them on TV, saying like Reddit's for the place for like for people who don't have lives at all. And then they're like, and then Reddit's like, oh, we're gonna fight against her, like obviously. And like the funny thing, the best thing social media has done for them in terms of Reddit on that site is that one of their waitresses who left did an AMA a few months ago, or probably a year ago at this point. But she was talking, and she does put down the business, but at the same time she's like, okay, like a little bit of the stuff is over the top, like the food didn't get sent back that much, or like this, like Sammy the owner and Amy the other owner, like they were bad at times, like really bad, but they were also good people at times, and they were good, their food was good at times. And like again, the only girl who has no relation to this company at all anymore is the only one who's using social media almost as a platform to help in a way, rather than just terribly affect their company. And then again, like going to Facebook is another example. Like again, people were like, "Oh, your food, like the food sucks," trolls, And in reality, if they would have just done like some sarcastic retort or whatever, like a funny thing against them, they would have been like, "Oh, people were like, oh yeah, these guys are not cool, but like they know how to deal with the issues, and like maybe they're not as bad as the show produces them, like shows them to be." But no, their Facebook responses again, they're so angry, and they're not, like, there's nothing good to come from them. You know, they're all in caps too. Like, I should say that, like, most of their social media presence, all their responses are in caps, almost as if they're yelling, or as if someone doesn't know how to turn off a caps key, which in both ways isn't really helping the situation, you know, because one, it's either you're mad all the time and you're just yelling, or two, you're too incompetent to actually understand how to use a keyboard. And then it's like, you probably shouldn't be running your own social media. You should hire someone, like, you know what I mean? Like, most companies do that, and maybe they're not the biggest, you know, like restaurant or bistro or whatever they're called, like a bistro and a bakery, to have that, but still, it's not good. It's not good. So yeah, like, and then again, the responses, like, and then they like went on tirades and like swore again, obscenities left and right everywhere at Facebook, and then they said, and then they came back a couple weeks ago, and again for all their stuff, like their Tumblr and their Facebook, they were like, oh, we got hacked, and they were like, yeah, we got hacked, and that's why, and it's like, it's such a, like, could they unhack? Probably, but it's such a cheap, like, so cheap, you know what I mean? It's like backing out of the corner. So yeah, like, this video's run a little longer than it should be, but, and maybe I ramble a little bit, but it's because, like, it's so insane. Like, you look at this and you're like, these people seem like they must be fairly intelligent, you know, I mean, they were running a business that was, like, the only reason their business was doing poorly was food, but that's not really, like, that's something that could go poor over time. And maybe they didn't, again, they weren't the nicest people, but, like, they still were intelligent enough to run a business, but then, like, they're not intelligent enough to understand that, like, if you keep throwing fire, like, gasoline on a fire, it's gonna keep going up, it's not gonna go down. And at the same time, again, like I said, I think I said before, they could have really just rode this train of social media buzz, like, you know what I mean, like, not buzz, but, like, negative buzz, but they just sort of rode it and, like, been successful. If they would have just, like, you know, taken this whole thing of, oh, we suck, and they took it for themselves, like, oh yeah, we suck, or like, oh, like, but our food, like, our bakery, our baked goods are good, and they could have done that, and they could spun the social media in their favor while it was negative, but they didn't. They just again, they just took it way too personally. Probably, again, someone a third party should have dealt with social media issues, or they should have talked to somebody instead of just, you know, like, the best example I can think of is, like, a 13-year-old girl going, like, the Tumblr is honestly as bad as, like, a 13-year-old girl, like, bitching about her life on Tumblr, to, like, people responding, like, trolling, and then she'll be like, oh, I hate you, go kill yourself, like, it's no better than that, like, it's a terrible use of this amazing technology you can use in today's world to get buzz and to make your business more successful. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. That's all you can really say. And just because you go in circles if you don't, because it's that bad. It's just, oh my god. But hope you enjoyed my video response. See ya.